Right, just before I start this video, typically enough, I've been wanting to get these for a long time, and the first car I use them on, they don't particularly fit. They do fit 99% of the vehicles, and whenever I do any product review, I'm going to be as honest as I possibly can. I'm not going to lie for anybody. It's just not worth it for me. Even if they give me loads of money, it's just not going to happen. I'm going to be honest with my reviews, and this company allows me to do that, which is absolutely fantastic. Now, we have come across a slight issue with this particular one because it doesn't fit, but I contacted them straight away, and without even question, without anything, they are working on a new insert to fit, you know, this car and maybe other vehicles that it doesn't actually fit. So this company, not only does it allow me to do it, to say what I want, and like I said, I wouldn't do it any other way, they also listen to me, and they are making a new insert for this. You can't really say fairer than that. I will be recording another video once I get another wheel bearing in, but at least you get the idea, you know, of what's going on. The company listens to people, and they're going to actually make a new thing for other vehicles as well, which you can't say fairer than that. So I hope you enjoy the video. Hello and welcome to another Bodgit and Leggit video. As you can see, we've got some tools on the desk from Welzh Werkzeug. These ones here is what they sent to me, and the far one is what I already have. Therefore, pressing bearings. You can see we've got a universal hub support buddy, which is 3600WW, and then we've got the 40016, which is the actual support. Now, have you ever got one of them tools or wanted one of them tools? You finally get one, and then you don't need it for ages because the job hasn't come in. Same with these bad boys. I've had these for a while now. I know I just haven't done a wheel bearing that's needed pressing in for a long time, which is just typical. And not only that, now we've got one. Unfortunately, these will only do it one way and not another way. I'll explain in a minute, but like I said on all my videos, I'm going to show you the good, the bad, and the ugly, because at the end of the day, this is real world. It's not like an advert where you see everything goes smoothly and everything works perfectly, because that's just not the real world. These are absolutely brilliant, but in this case, they will only, well, I'll show you. Normally what they are is, and what they are designed to do, is you put them in your bearing press. For example, I want to press out the center hub. Look at that. Straight in there, nice and level, bang. Press out the center hub. Everyone's lovely. But then you need to turn it around to press out the bearing. And unfortunately with this one, there is just no flat area. There's no flat area whatsoever. The time I get to do one and film it is when I can't use these properly, which is frustrating, because this is the smallest one they do, and as you can see, it just will not fit in. It's just the way it is. So what we can use instead, we can use this, because this is fully adjustable, and this is what this is designed for as well. It's just these make your life so much easier, because literally all I should have really had to have done, bang this on the press, push that down, bang, turn it around like that. Technically I could kind of do it that way, but it's on the old piss a little bit. I could technically do that way because I'm only pushing out the bearing, but the thing might slip off, so I'm not going to really do that. And then anyway, you push it in, and it's a ready-made bench basically. You don't need to do anything. On 99% of the vehicles, these will work. On the one I have, this is a Peugeot 3008, and typically it won't work for pressing out the bearing, but at least it will work for pressing out the center hub, which is still obviously good, because that really is awkward sometimes. I see people put it on a vise and they just hit this out with a hammer, or they get pullers on it, because it's such a big thing. You've no real where to put. Even this here will not go inside here with that hub on like that, because it's just not, well, it might just, but it's a bit, you know, sketchy. Where this is nice flat area, bang, it's going to be lovely, really quick and easy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to film this, because like I said, at the end of the day, this is real life. I'm not going to show something if I find a problem with it, and I'm not going to show it, because I just don't do that. You know, I want people to come to this channel and they'll be able to get an honest opinion and an honest what I think a tool can or can't do. Believe me, these are brilliant. Honestly, once I get one that they will actually fit, you will see just how brilliant these things are. but nevertheless we still have this tool here, so we can still do it. It's just this is a hell of a lot quicker with just using these. But like I said, look, at the end of the day, this is real life. Not going to sugarcoat anything. If you're doing any amount of bearings at all, I would really suggest you get these. I've seen them in a lot of the videos and stuff, and yeah, they're fantastic. But unfortunately, for the first one I get, yeah, I just get an absolute thingy. I mean, I could do something with it if I wasn't maybe filming it. I could do something. It's a bit sketchy, but I'm not going to do it because it's just a little bit dodgy. So what we're going to do is, first thing we're going to do is get this on the vise, on the press, and we're going to press this centre hub out. At least we can use the big one for that. Sorted. So like I said, the setup is in seconds. You sit it on here. You don't have to. You can just sit it on your flat plates. You don't particularly need one of these. It's just easier if you have, because it just secures it, you know, with the pins in. It's just a lot easier. Then all I do is I've got an old 3/8 extension head, and you're going to see now just how quick this is. And again, unfortunately, if I could use it actually pushing out the bearing, it would just be so much quicker. So all I've got to do next is I've got to set this up and I get the legs adjusted to this. It's not the end of the world, it's just to get it right. So we now need to just move this in place like that, and boom, it's ready to go, and it's going to press through there. It's just going to be so much easier. It's just a shame, like I said, we can't do it the other way. Now look at that. To see how easy that is. Imagine if I could just swip this around now, take out this clip, and boom, put the new one in. I would do it in a matter of seconds. But unfortunately, we can't. Well, I could, but I know if I put this on at an angle, I'm just going to get too much grief from the comments, and I kind of don't blame them really, so I'm not going to do it. But as you can see, there's our centre hub come out. We do need to cut this. I've shown in other videos how to actually do it. You can cut it, you can press it out, it just depends what you want to do. But again, this is not really show you how to do it, it's just showing you the tools. So that's now done. One thing you do have to bear in mind in this particular car is you can see where the spring clip is, the actual circlip, sorry. You need to get it perfectly in line because that's where the ABS sensor comes and cuts through. So make sure you get that in the right place. Don't just put it in anywhere because you won't be able to put the ABS sensor in. If you're not looking what you're doing, you'll tighten the bolt down for the ABS sensor and you'll break it. Like I said, technically speaking, I could do it that way, like that, and press it down. And actually, looking at it now, the angle isn't too bad. Actually, that's better than I thought. Now, you'd never press a bearing in at an angle. You shouldn't really press a bearing out at an angle. But that is not as bad as I thought. But I would prefer it a bit straighter. Anyway, we won't worry about that yet, because what I need to do is I need to cut this off first, take out the circlip. Once I've done all that, we'll turn the camera back on and I'll decide what I'm going to do. Right, I've got it all set up. I didn't need to use the adjustable fingers in the end because it was just as easy for me to put it on this block and it's level, which is good. I'm going to put the old thrust race back, but I put an Instagram post not so long ago and I bought a load of these off a man in a van, and it's absolutely perfect just to sit in there and actually go down. Now what I'm going to do is, I think, do I need to lift that up? I might need to lift that up. I don't know if we're going to have enough movement in the jack. We'll risk it. I think this is an idea. First one's always the worst. Is it going to leave me enough room? Maybe not. Now you do have to be careful. The thing you are pushing in, you want to make sure it's not the same thickness, because you'll be pressing that into it as well. Now unfortunately, that's not going to allow me to get it out with what I've done there. So all I've got to do is release the pressure, pull this back to there, put pressure back on, and then don't get in the way of the camera, hopefully. And there we go. And that worked out lovely. I bought loads of them, all different sizes, different lengths, loads down there. You can't really see. Let's pan the camera down. You can see them all in there, and I got a few spanners all for like 15 quid. Where can you go? You can't go wrong. You just can't go wrong. Now what we need to make sure is we put the bearing back in the right position. We have the ABS pickup at the back, which is here, which is very, very important to keep. One thing you should always do once you get a new bearing is test it. You can see the sections of the magnet in there. Even though it's new bearing, you want to check them all with this special magnet paper to make sure none of them are split. Because if they're split or if they're missing, it's not going to work, and you're going to have to do all this over and over again. Now actually putting it back is a lot more simple, because you always have a flat end here on your hub. But like I said, just very, very important. You can actually just make this, I put this close to the camera, you see now, see the sections there? You can actually see them. Very important to check that, because just because the new bearing doesn't mean it's any good. They could have got thrown around the place when they were being delivered to you or anything like that, and yeah, always a good thing. Save your old bearings, because they're handy for pushing other bearings out and all sorts of stuff like that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to clean up all inside there. Not going to show that, just clean up all inside there, get this set up ready for the new one to be pushed in. And what I might do, just to make it easier for me, is set it up. So what I'm exactly going to do, I'm going to put this here, I'm going to put that there. It saves me having to lift the whole thing up, and as you can see, that'll be a really nice, good place to push it in. But we have to be very, very careful on here, because we have to push, on this particular case, we have to push in down from there. So again, this is where the old bearing can come in handy. If we take out the centerpiece that we cut, and we can put that on top, hopefully. Will it just fit? Yeah, it will. And press the new bearing in. But I've got to clean all this and do all that first before I do any of that. Just gives us a little bit more room to do that. Right, so we've just lubed everything up, give everything a good clean. And what we can do now is start pushing this down. I know it looks a bit off at the minute, but it won't once we get it all lined up. Again, I'm using another one of these adapters I've got. But this is where you have to be really careful, because we need to get this bearing pushed in level, obviously. But not only that, we need to make sure it goes in level, but we also need to make sure this doesn't slip and damage our pickup, because then we're in trouble. So just go nice and slowly. You can see, just even though, you know, well, this is actually designed for what we're doing, but you can just see how much of a solid base it gives you. If you've ever tried to press in bearings, not so much, actually no, sorry, not so much pressing in bearings, but certainly taking out bearings, having a solid base is just key. And it's one of them things that once you have a set of these, providing you haven't got a Peugeot 3008, you're going to be alright. Someone's just come in. Right, we can finally get back to finishing this off. What I need to make sure is that hasn't slipped, which it kind of has a little bit. So we just need to put that there, bring that in a tad, and go again. This is where I have to be careful I'm not pushing that in, which I'm not at the minute. Now, that's it. We will just double check to make sure the circlip will go in. It will. No damage done to the magnet pickup. No, so we're good to go. Right, that's it. I'm going to put the circlip back on and test with the ABS sensor to make sure it's in the right place. I'm going to use the old ABS sensor to do that. But as you can see, absolutely no damage whatsoever. These things are awesome. Some people say you can't cut off these bearing races here, but you just can. See, I cut through that. I didn't cut all the way through. Absolutely left no mark whatsoever. Once you get most of the way through, get a big chisel, hit it a few times. You'll actually crack it, and then it will just come off. You can see through there, it's not actually cut, it's just cracked. If I turn it around, there's where it's cut. A few smacks with a hammer and it cracks it. So no damage done whatsoever. Like I said, it's one of them things that I'm not going to lie for anyone or any amount of money, because reputation is a lot more important than money. Everything I show, if I like it, I'm going to say I like it. These are fantastic. It's just the one that I happen to use it on doesn't bloody work. But 98% of them are going to work, and it's going to make your life a lot easier. If you ever pressed a bearing before, believe me, once you use something like this, it's thingy. And I think it also, you know, it's real life. It's not, you know, a Hollywood video where everything goes perfectly and everything, you know, it's nice and easy and just goes in place. It's just not like that. So that's it. So look, I'll leave all the links down below to everything I use. Once I get another vehicle in and we can actually use it on both sides, I'll obviously show that as well. And that's it. So look, hope it helps. Please like, share, comment and subscribe. Don't forget, links up here, links down below. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram and all that. But most importantly, don't forget, get your hands dirty. See you for the next one. Sorted.